Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Adjoa. It's going to be a little competition between Paris Corner and Fragrance World. These two houses offer some incredible, affordable alternative to Kayali fragrances, and I'm here to give you all the details about the ones I have in my collection and let you know which of them, in my opinion, is the better alternative. I think I've spoken severally about some of these already in some of my similar but better videos, but there are additions, new additions. Paris Corner sent over some PR packages, including their latest vanilla fragrance known as Eshal Vanilla, and it's supposed to be their interpretation of Vanilla 28 by Kayali. So I received a number of fragrances, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. But in this particular video, I want to compare Eshal Vanilla with Rouge Diva. I'm just adding Rouge Diva, although it's not a Paris Corner fragrance one, but since I'm already here, I might as well just add it to complete the set of Vanilla 28 fragrances I have and compare them. So I'm going to compare Eshal to Rouge Diva from Zimaya, and then from Fragrance World, Elysia Vanilla. Elysia Vanilla. So when it comes to this, I think I have drummed severally that is a very good interpretation of Vanilla 28. However, in the case of Rouge Diva, I'm just going to eliminate it. Not to say it is a bad fragrance. It is a very good vanilla heavy floral fragrance, but I think it is not a spot on, the most accurate, inspired by of Vanilla 28. It is not. It lacks the brown sugar. It lacks the booziness. It's not as creamy. I don't find that exact vanilla that I find in Vanilla 28. I don't find the exact brown sugar I find in Vanilla 28. It gives me like a combination of the Vanilla 28 vibe with the Athena, that floral heavy Athena vanilla vibe. That is what it gives me. So for that matter, although a very beautiful vanilla scent, I love it. I've used this one quite a lot. It's been just a few weeks since I got this one, but I enjoy it. I layer it. I wear it on its own. But it is not the most spot on when it comes to Vanilla 28. So for that reason, I'm going to eliminate it, and then the competition itself is going to be between these two. Eshal Vanilla from Paris Corner. Just to give you a close-up of the bottle, is so pretty. I don't know why it doesn't come like the Khair, or it's not part of the Khair line. It's similar, but not the same thing. They are both beautiful, but I feel like this Eshal bottle is a lot more weightier than the Khair one, or Khair one. So this is Eshal. Why can't I pronounce this one well? Eshal from Paris Corner. So it's a very beautiful interpretation of Vanilla 28. I have a little vial of Vanilla 28 that I've been using for a lot of my comparisons. It's very comparable. I've already mentioned that this is like a spot on. Elysia Vanilla is a spot on, and so is this one. There are very negligible differences between these two fragrances. This one on its own is going to remind you of Vanilla 28 as soon as you spray it. There's nothing squishy, nothing to sit on. It doesn't feel like it needs to go through maceration, although I believe if it sits for a while, it's going to get a lot more better and, improve performance wise and everything. But even from the get-go, I never got anything synthetic or squishy. Okay, so let me guess briefly. I still have the package here, so why not? I've already discarded my packages for the Rouge Diva and Elysia, but this is the package for Elysia. Very simple, like a normal coffin style fragrance, fragrance packaging for Middle Eastern houses. It has this, coffin style that's the fragrance is sleep in. But it comes with something, a little scarf, maybe I would say a souvenir, with fragrance with Paris Corner. It's a little beautiful touch. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one, it's just a cute little touch from Paris Corner, but I think it is cute. So that is the packaging. So fragrance wise or scent wise, these two are very similar, and in essence, both are very similar to Vanilla 28. To my nose, I would say they are very negligible differences. These two are the most similar to Vanilla 28, but this Elysia comes across as a lot more colder. There's texture wise, I would say it feels a lot more colder because the vanilla feels a lot more intense and much more creamy. And I guess the brown sugar a lot more. That is not to say I don't get those elements in this one, but this one feels a lot more warmer. There is something much more warmer about Elysia vanilla, and there's something a little more colder about this one. I find the original vanilla 28 a little colder. There's something a little colder, but it also has a spice, a slight spice with it. That is the original one. Whereas in the case of Elysia, it comes across as a more colder version of this, if it makes any sense. You can wear this. To me, they are year round. Although a lot of people will say vanilla 28 is a cold weather fragrance. It is not cloying to me to the extent that you cannot wear it in the high heat. I've been wearing this in the high heat. I have no issue with this. But it feels a lot more colder and denser. There's something a little denser about this. Whereas Elysia from Paris Corner feels a lot more warmer. However, it's the same vanilla I get, the same florals, like very lightweight florals, the same booziness. I would say this one feels just slightly more boozy than Elysia. No, and this one is fairly new. This one has gone through some aging, so I'm just going to give you updates when it comes to this. But even from the beginning, Elysia has been amazing. I didn't get anything offensive about it. It was smooth, a lot more smoother. It feels like slightly so light. I guess a lighter, much more breathable version of this one. And this one, feels a little more cold and pressed. This one feels a lot more cold and pressed, whereas this one feels a lot more warmer and a little brighter. But scent wise, you're getting the same thing. You're not getting anything significantly different. They both smell very identical to the original 28, vanilla 28. You can, in the air, very negligible difference. Between these two, I wouldn't say go for one over the other. I think I love them both. They both give me the same exact, almost not the same, but almost the same exact feel. And this one being a lot more colder and denser, whereas this one, although a very heavy vanilla, slightly boozy, it's not as boozy as I find in this, but it's just because I feel it is fairly new. I'm just going to wait on it, to macerate or mature, and then I can really go like, okay, head-to-head competition between the two. But as a new bottle, it's very pretty, very airy, very warm, delicious, vanilla, sugar, brown sugar, slight booziness, the florals. I get every single aspect of it, and that is going to be the comparison between these two. I say go for the cheaper one around you, whichever one is the cheaper alternative between the two around you. They are both going to give you a very similar experience, and that is going to be my take on these two, Elysia and then the latest addition from Paris Corner, which, I like the bottle and presentation and everything. Elysia or Eshal vanilla. Yeah, so pretty. So that is going to be my take on these two fragrances. Khair Confection and Vanilla Candy, on the other hand, are inspired by the Rock Sugar one from Kayali. And I think they are both beautiful. I enjoy both of them, although I feel like this one feels a lot more intense, and I get something slightly more smoky in Khair Confection, where I don't necessarily get in candy vanilla from Fragrance World. Nonetheless, very beautiful fragrances. They are very identical, but this is slightly lighter, like a lighter, much more breathable, version of this. This one feels a lot more richer and a lot more intense, whereas you're getting something much more airy and lighter when it comes to vanilla sugar. It's beautiful. It's just going to remind you of that whole rock sugar from Kayali, but it's like a little lighter, airy, breathable. And the only downside is the fact that the rest of the Elysia lines are not as super long lasting as the other ones that I have come across. Longevity wise, I think I prefer the one from Paris Corner. It's a little long lasting than Fragrance World, but it's still going to give you at least your 2 hours on skin and around the 4-5 hours, after which you normally would have to reapply something, if you want to make that impact. But it lingers on. It's like, it becomes a skin scent after a while, but it still lingers on. Whereas this one gives me something a little more out there. So these are the differences between these two. I say for the price point of the Khair line, which has gone down significantly, you might as well go for this one if you're looking for something a little more, a little more But if you're one that wants something much more lighter, you might want to go the Fragrance World way. They are lots more breathable, lighter takes on these Kayali fragrances, So yeah, that is the difference between these two fragrances. December Vanilla by Paris Corner versus Elysia Sugar Patchouli. So these are also very quite close, but I think this one lacks that creaminess of the creme brulee. It lacks that creaminess. If you have not tried the two, you consider this one as creamy, but if you have them on, you will find December as a lot more creamy with more of that creme brulee vibe than the one from Fragrance World. You get that same vanilla sugar patchouli vibe of Kayali, but I think this one feels a lot more sweeter. There's something much more sugary, about this one, much more creamy, much more vanillic, about it than the one from Fragrance World. This one is going to put you in the same mind. It's actually a very good dupe. It is actually a very good dupe of Kayali's version, but I feel like it's not as creamy. It is not as heavy on the vanilla, it just lacks that. However, it's going to put you in that same mind space as the original one. It's good, if you are one who doesn't really care for anything super spicy and super intense, you might want to go the Fragrance World, way. It's going to give you something a lot more lighter. Although I say lighter in the sense, or in comparison to this, it's not necessarily your girly, fruity, light. No, it's still a very heavy, patchouli, boozy, creamy one. But in comparison to this one, I think this one is much more creamy, much more denser, much more heavy, and longevity is a little better than this one. This is good. This version is really good. I like the scent profile, but I think it lacks that creaminess that December Vanilla has, and that is the only significant difference between these two fragrances. It was only when I was preparing for this particular video that it dawned on me that Paris Corner doesn't have a dupe for Eden Apple from Kayali. I for whatever reason, I never thought about it, but when I was compiling the list for this, I realized I have Apple Rouge from Fragrance World. That is Kayali's their interpretation for Eden Juicy Apple. But Paris Corner doesn't have any for that, So for this reason, I can't compare any because Paris Corner doesn't have. But this on its own is a very beautiful apple fragrance. Sweet, delicious, airy, light, fun, and girly, sugary sweet. But unfortunately, I can't compare it to anything from Paris Corner. So yeah, I think you can go for this one blindly. It is a good fragrance. It is a very fun, everyday one. I would rather compare this one to Sublime from Latafa, which to me, it's good, but not a great interpretation of Eden Juicy from Kayali. I would rather go for Crystalia Prima Soul. I will always maintain that one feels a lot more better, a lot more, amped up. It's very identical or a spot on dupe for Eden Juicy from Kayali than this Apple Rouge. Is good, but I think if you already have Crystalia Prima Soul from La Fade Cadillac, you are good to go. You don't necessarily need this one. But this on its own, for the price that it's offering, I think it's a very beautiful, fragrance. So, personally, I've never been a fan of the Khair Pistachio, Yam Pistachio. I've never been, I don't know, for whatever reason, I've never been a fan of the Yam Pistachio by Kayali, but I have a decant of the Khair Pistachio here from Paris Corner. I don't have the dupe from Fragrance World. I never really cared for it. I think the only reason why I didn't pick it up is because I didn't care for the yam thing. I didn't just care for it in the first instance. It's not my style. I understand that whole green pistachio, ice cream, vanilla, marshmallow thing, but I've never really enjoyed it. So for that reason, I didn't care to get the sample of the Elysia line, but I think it's going to be comparable to this one because the rest of the lines are very comparable to the ones from Paris Corner. So yeah, when it comes to the Khair line, this one is the Khair Pistachio from Paris Corner, but I don't necessarily care for it that much, and that is going to be my take. It's just there, yeah, but I don't really care for that, the scent profile, yeah. And the last fragrance is going to be Confection from Paris Corner. I also don't have the one from Fragrance World to compare it with. This is beautiful. You know, I've always loved this. This is actually my second bottle of Confection. I finished my bottle, my first one, I think somewhere last year. It's beautiful, a very airy, light, fun, lychee, raspberry, sugar, vanilla. It's just a very pretty, simple one. Very happy, you know, those very happy scents. It puts you in a very happy, relaxed mood. It's something that you can just douse yourself in the highest of heat. It does not come across as cloying or annoying. It smells breathable. It smells airy, light, delicious, fruity, you know. Yeah, it's clean. That is a vibe this one gives me. So for that reason, I had to get myself a second bottle of this. I will not be able to compare it to the one from Fragrance World, but I think it is going to be similarly enjoyable smell, since the others from the line are incredibly good. And that is all I have for you today, and I hope this video found you well. So please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.